Hello everyone, welcome to my first YouTube video ever. Since I have never made one of these before, please comment any advice or tips for starting out. Since I still have a lot to learn, I would greatly appreciate that. I started this channel to share some of my crafts with you guys, and today I'll be showing you my bullet journal for 2019, which is also my first bullet journal. It's a place where I plan, track things, do some of my art, and just relax and reflect on my life. I'll be showing you guys how I first set up my journal, then I'm going to do a flip through of January, then we'll get into planning February. I just created my Instagram for my projects, and that is at creating.waves, and soon I'll have an Etsy shop up where I'll be having all of my projects available too. So the journal I'm using is called the Leuchtturm 1917, and on the first page here I just wrote out my name. So here I just wrote the year out, and I was practicing my lettering here, so kind of just had some fun with that. Then on the second page, some of the color had bled through from the page behind it, so I went ahead and painted it, pasted some Pinterest photos, and a quote. So here's my key, where I just have different icons to separate my events, appointments, and tasks, and to see if they're finished or started. Then on the right is my index, where I'll just write down pages that I might want to revisit. Now this is called the year at glance, and it's kind of just where I can see my full year. I decorated the page with a drawing of a sunflower using tissue paper scraps and washi tape. Then I glued down this construction paper on the right for the calendar. I just wrote down each month name, then cut and pasted these grids from a blank page in the back of my journal. And then here is where I just break down the year by each month and write down important dates that I can look at in the future for months that I haven't planned out yet. I fit about 3 months per page here. And then on the second page, I just switched the theme, and I used my new Tombow dual tip brush pens to decorate it, which I love. Okay, so here are my goals. I just like writing them down. It keeps me on track. And then over here, I have my wish list, which is pretty self-explanatory. So here's my first spread for January, which I went for a space and galaxy theme. I did this painting with acrylic paint, and I just wrote out January in a calendar with my favorite metallic marker. And then I just used some more galaxy scraps that I had. I wrote down all of my important dates for the month, a small to-do list, a Pinterest photo, and a little doodle. So here I just have a habit tracker and a mood tracker. On the left, I just wrote some things that I wanted to get better at, waking up early, making my bed, and then on the right, I just filled in each star with a different color that goes with the mood that I was feeling that day. So this page on the left actually became my favorite thing, and I think I'm going to kind of do that every single month. I just wrote down a little bit of a memory that I had every day, or things that stood out to me this month. And then on the right, I had an expense tracker for my business, which didn't keep up with. On the left here, I just had a little section called Brain Dump, where I can just write random things and not have to be too worried about how it looks. And then since I went with my galaxy theme, I kind of did a little page for my Capricorn. I was just practicing fonts and having some fun. So here's my first weekly spread, which was actually week 2 because I started this journal, I think, on the 7th. So here I just used some Pinterest photos that stood out to me, wrote a couple quotes, and planned my week. So this next spread I wanted to include a little bit more drawing and art, and also I journaled a little bit more, talked about my day. I really liked the Pinterest photos and the extra scraps. It just kind of brought in the galaxy theme. So this is where I just track my sleep. I graph when I go to bed, when I wake up, and how many hours I sleep. So this month is my birthday month. I turned 25. I did a little spread just so I can remember that day. It was pretty fun. A lot of my friends came and hung out with me. We went to Armature Works, which was a lot of fun, and I'll definitely be going back there. So this is another weekly spread that I did, and I included a little drawing that I found for inspiration on the left there, and then I actually went through my old high school sketchbook and found this little quote planet drawing that I just pasted in here. And then also some scrap pages and Pinterest photos again. And then this page was my final week. I used a few more scraps that I found in my old sketchbook. It was fun to look back at that. Just did a little quote on the left, and then I wrote about my weekend. This page is super exciting. So I kind of wanted to plan out my Etsy shop, my first YouTube video, and then I just made a list of things I needed to do to get those things going, and just some ideas and a to-do list, and then of course washi tape and some little doodles. And that is it for my month of January. Now I'm going to show you guys how I started off my month of February. I'm going to do a watercolor painting, and this month I'm going to go with a floral theme, and I actually got some new watercolors. I think these are from Amazon, and they're called Decadent Pies. I actually really love these colors. They have this little card that shows you all of them, and they're numbered, so it's easy to keep them in order. And they also have these little trays that you can mix your colors in, which is pretty convenient. So now I am just getting my area organized because I cannot start a project unless everything is in its place. I'm using this Canson XL watercolor mixed media paper. I love it because it's nice and thick, nothing bleeds through, and it's almost the size for my bullet journal. I just have to cut it a little bit. So here I am starting my watercolor painting. Just putting some water on the first flower that I'm going to paint. You can see I already had my sketch all planned out, so now I just have to put the paint on the paper. I find that if I use different colors, that it's better to start with one and then do different areas so that the paints don't run together. As you can see, usually I start out with an outline with less water, and then I'll go in with a little bit more water to get those different shades. I'm just adding a little bit of detail work around here, adding some more flowers, and you'll see that I actually come back a lot of times for more and more layers, which adds a little bit more depth. This is one of my first times actually using watercolor paint. I've seen a lot of other people using it in their videos and it looks really fun, but this painting was just me kind of getting used to the medium and playing around. So I'm just adding more and more layers to these flowers, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with this flower down here. I don't love the way it turned out, but for my first time I feel like it was alright. Just going in here, adding little specks of little flowers and just adding as much detail as I can without it becoming too realistic looking, because I do like the way it looks a little watery and abstract. You can see I just used my hair blow dryer to kind of speed up the process, and then here I went in with like an orange tone, which I actually ended up not loving, so I went in with some blue, some blackberry, and then just kind of went in on one side of my piece so I could create a shadow, and then I just used more water to blend that out a bit, and you'll see that here. So there you have it, my finished watercolor painting. Just going to get everything cleaned up, and then I'm going to just write in the word February with my pencil. I like to use pencil because who knows when you're going to mess up. Then just fill it in with my marker, and then to make it pop extra I just went in and kind of thickened up the down strokes for that. And now I'm just going to write in the days of the week with my pencil, fill it in, and then I'm going to write out my full calendar, and there you have it. Now I'm just going to take that watercolor painting and just use a regular old glue stick and paste it in my journal. And now I'm just using that same watercolor paint to write in my important date sections. You can see where I use more water, the font looks a little lighter, and then if you fill it in with less water, it adds a little bit more depth and darkness to that paint, which I think looks kind of cool. So now I'm going in with my washi tape, and by the way, I have an obsession with washi tape, just to decorate the page a bit. And then here I'm writing out every day of the month, and I'm making a little brain dump section here. I decided to put it with my important dates section because last month I didn't fill out the whole page. More washi tape. So another reason I love this journal is because it has that little scrap section in the back, a pocket, where I keep a lot of my Pinterest photos or just magazine clippings, things that I see that just stand out to me. And here I'm going through to see kind of what would go with my thing, and took that washi tape off. New plan. So here I'm just pasting down this little rose picture that I found in a magazine, and I think that's it for my first page. Oh wait, never mind, more washi tape, of course. So here I'm just filling in the dates that I need to remember for this month. So I got these new little typewriter font stamps from Michaels. They all stick together and they're really fun. And I also got this little ink pad, and I'm just going to do my habit tracker here. Do that little stamp, and then I'm going to do the same thing for my sleep tracker. And here you see me smudge my stamp that I just did. Urgh. But the good thing is there's always a way to fix it, and here I'm just using a little washi tape to cover it up. And so people don't know I used it to cover it, I decorated the habits section with it too. Let's try this again. Now I'm just drawing my grids, and this month I did a few different habits, but usually I like to stick to about 6 because otherwise I might get a little overwhelmed, you know? I was able to fit both of these trackers on one page this month because it's February and there's only 28 days, so I'm totally taking advantage of that. And here I'm just making my memories page for February, and I'm doing it pretty much the same style as January, just with a different color and a little bit of a different font, and I'm just erasing my pencil marks. And now I'm just adding a black shadow to kind of make this font just pop a little bit. So this page is kind of just a business page. On the left here, I'm going to be tracking my salon expenses, or at least trying to a little bit better this month, and of course adding a little doodle and erasing my pencil marks. So I don't actually have a black brush pen yet, but I do love the way that the brush lettering looks, so I'm just using my pen to thicken up the downstrokes, and you can kind of see how I started there, and then I just color it in. So now I'm just writing out the date, category, description, amount, and making this into a little graph or chart that I can easily keep up with. Now I'm just adding some decoration. I like to add these lines to keep my lines separated. And then here I'm just going to paste a little clipping that I have to add a little bit of fun decoration. Over here I'm taking the other half of that photo and pasting it, and then I'm going to write my daily revenue header up here. I'm using just the same color of my Tombow dual tip brush pen to pull the pages together, and then of course adding a little bit of washi tape for some flair, and then that is it for my business spread. Then I just went through my little sticker book that I got from either Hobby Lobby or Michaels, and I'm just gonna stick a few little fun garden theme stickers throughout my spreads. Alright guys, so here's my last page that I'm going to be sharing with you, and it's my first week setup for February. I just kind of move the little pictures around my book to see where I want them or what looks best until I figure it out. Then I'll put my glue down and paste it down. And then this is just proof that you don't have to spend tons of money on crafting supplies. This is just one of my birthday present tissue paper scraps that I had. And then also a little coloring book picture that I cut out. And now I'm just doodling some little flowers with my black pen. Then writing out days of the week and filling them in with my black pen as well. And then here I'm just going to put a few little extra stickers to decorate my page. And there you have it, my first week of February. So now I'm just going to do a little flip through of all my pages from this month for you guys to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to me. Again, if you have any feedback, please feel free to leave it in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you guys here again next month.